And hello again. We're back for the third segment of Seven Rivers Talk. I'm Bob Burrell, and my guest today is Bill Feehan, who is running for the La Crosse County Board. And Bill, you've done a great job in outlining several of the spending and several of the budget concerns and implications here for this for the county. That election, by the way, of course, is on April 6th. I think Bill has walked, how many streets and how many hours have you walked throughout this area running for this position, Bill?
Well, I've spent over 30 hours knocking doors in my district, and I've spoken to over 200 people, so I feel like I've got a pretty good feel for what people are thinking out there right now.
I think one of your walks was down here on the Avon Street, is that correct? And boy, I think everyone would be very interested in hearing just a person-to-person individual account of what the economies in our county and our nation mean today to these folks.
Right. Well, the thing that I can tell you that impacts me the most is when I'm talking to people that don't have jobs. And there are many people in the district and on Avon Street who don't have jobs right now. I spoke to one gentleman who'd had a good paying job. He was making $55,000 a year, and he's accepted a job for $8 an hour just to try and make things work, Bob. And so you can't talk to those people without being affected by that. And they're wondering where the jobs are going to come from. And of course, there are many people that are also on Social Security. There are disabled people, and those people are not seeing increases in their payments. So the rapidly rising property tax burden is really hurting them. And the slide that we're going to show you now shows the distribution of increases in property taxes on 31 properties on Avon Street. And what you'll notice is there's quite a range from the bottom, where the lowest increase was 33%. Again, this is from 1999 through 2008. And the largest increases, there were two properties. One was a 102% increase, one was a 105% increase, and 8 of the 31 properties actually saw better than a 70% increase during that time. Now, how does that compare to something, say, like inflation? Well, according to the National Bureau of Labor Statistics, inflation during that time actually increased by about 2.75% annually. So our county tax burden has risen at better than twice the rate of inflation.
Boy, and so you're on the county board, and how do you address trying to hold taxes down as far as the county itself is concerned, even relative to the to the operational staffs and to the was it city manager you have?
Well, that's a great question, Bob. And one of the concerns that I have is, not many years ago, we did not have a county administrator. And we now have that person, and his office budget has increased by 50% over the last 6 years. That's a 12% annual increase. I also understand that he's hired 2 full-time secretaries, and the cost of that office this year is $283,000. It's almost 1% of county spending. My question is, how can the man who is charged with overseeing our county government have credibility when he goes to the various department heads and asks them to hold the line on spending when he's spending money at that rate?
Yeah, that's true, and that's probably be a very interesting question to ask him.
Well, I can tell you that my pledge to the people of the 3rd District is, if I'm elected, I will ask that question, and I will very clearly tell that body that spending is going up too fast and we need tax relief.
There you go. From a business viewpoint, and you are a businessman, and we're also going to have on our program here in the next week or two John Peterson, who is the manager of Radisson, who is very, very savvy about even a few dollars spent or not spent in the county makes a huge difference in terms of monies coming into the county. From a business viewpoint, does that make you extremely cautious, extremely conservative, or do you feel loose or become reckless in terms of when you're strategizing for your business growth?
Well, I think the thing that business owners are struggling right now is we have declining sales, declining profitability. We're concerned about keeping the people that we value who work for us, who in many cases they have a lot of training, so you'd hate to lose those people. And again, they're people we know, so we don't want to see them lose their jobs. But yes, when the government is consuming more of people's incomes, obviously there's less money for those people to spend on a haircut or a sandwich in a local restaurant. So tax policy has a direct impact on our local economy. It's one of the reasons that we have these TIF districts to try and attract businesses into the city of La Crosse. If the tax burden in the city of La Crosse wasn't so high, we wouldn't have to create government programs. And I'd like to add that I don't believe that the development funds that make loans to private businesses are appropriate either. I don't think taxpayer dollars should be used to bail out businesses in Washington or right here in La Crosse County.
There you are. If you had your druthers as a county board member, make an assumption that you're seated as a county board member, what would your druthers be in terms of the first actions you would take in terms of presenting the resolutions or bills?
Well, the very first thing that I've pledged to the people I've talked to is that I'm going to address the chairman and say, Mr. Chairman, members of this body, spending is too high. The tax burden is hurting the people of La Crosse, and I'd like to ask you to freeze county spending for the indefinite future to give taxpayers a break. And I think that that would be much appreciated.
Very, very fine. I've been talking to Bill Feehan, who is a county board candidate for one of the seats on a nonpartisan board here in the city of or in the county of La Crosse. And we'll be back again with you next week. Our guest will be Dan Kapanke, who will be running against Ron Kind for the congressman in this district. And also, hopefully, we'll have with us another businessman for a short while, Steve Lau, who is the owner of the Toyota business here. And of course, everyone knows Toyota has been in the news a lot. There are interesting issues there with the U.S. government now owning General Motors. They're putting the crunch on Toyota, which is a whole new ballgame, I think, in terms of our business community. Thank you so much, Bill, for being our guest today. I look forward to having you come back again.
Bill, Bob, thank you for having me here.
Good luck in your business. And you know, you might like to know that we were talking here about doing grace. And Bill said, well, I've been doing grace for breakfast for a long, long time. You started as a kid, right?
Yeah, I was one of a few people that was reading the Bible when I was in junior high school, and so pretty much at every family function and a lot of other functions, people look to me to say grace.
There you go, and you're still at it.
Right on.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being with us today. I'm Bob Burrell, hoping that you'll be viewing this, and we'll see you again next week with Dan Kapanke and Steve Lau.